lives are lost during the second phase of the storm. Moreover, what Gray had described as the second phase of the storm, as the relative lull of the eye passed, was more destructive than the first. Another anonymous witness from a letter published in the magazine South Beach, USA, wrote, "The fiercest and most inescapable of all..."
It's actually a really good show. This is History Guy. What minute? 11:22? That's nice. It's a nice 11 and a 22. Have a look-see here.
Welcome to the History Guy podcast, a podcast dedicated to stories of lesser-known historical events told by Lance Geiger, also known as the History Guy on YouTube. I'm Josh, your host, a writer for the channel and eldest son of the History Guy. We tell all kinds of stories about history, from the modern era to the ancient past, so you never know what we're going to talk about next. One thing you can be sure of, it is history that deserves to be remembered. We at the History Guy are also excited to announce a new way to interact with the team and the History Guy himself at locals.com. Join the History Guy Guild for your one-stop location to chat with other history fans, get updates on the team, and more. You can join for free or pay.
Now, I don't know. Because I'm normally pretty suspicious of most shit. But number one, we'll go through these real fast. I mean, why be suspicious if you can dismiss this? That's not sensible. Fuck you. Go to hell and die. Anyway. So triggers. You know triggers. Triggered. Remember triggers? You hear certain things that remind you certain things. Miami Research Institute, I think, was one. It's like, what's this? I hear this before. You hear a lot of the same things because the same people that run these very strange long-term special, what do you call them? Special access program? Yes, the special access program children. Yes, very smart little children's. Yes, very smart. So the games, they're games. Games. I think it was funny listening to Chris from Uncanny, listening to the girl talk shit about Matt, draw all these weird conclusions. He's an actor and she's a teacher, I think she was saying. And none of her logic made any sense. Because it wasn't logic. He was right about that. He's like, I like cognitive dissonance. He does. He likes it. He likes looking for patterns. I don't give a shit about that as much. But I do. I notice them too. I notice them. I don't like to look out. Well, maybe I do. Who the fuck knows? He wants to keep it real and talk about diabetes. Or you could end up here. My dad doesn't know who he is. Neither do I. I think he's fucking one of the, it's not Aries Spears. And that's racist. Well, I was going to say Mad TV or some shit, but you beat me to it, Alter Ego. Oh, Alter Ego. You're a hell of a guy, you know. Hey, whatever. I am stationary, right? I'm in my point of center. Now, around me, oriented in the memory space, what would be ever around me, wherever I am. Now, if I don't know where I am, and I go on some journey with Christ, who did show up. You could see him and everything. It was mental. It wasn't like he was here. It was Christ. And he's still there. It's a memory, though. It's like the Akashic Records room or something. I'm not entirely sure. Because that's not even the point. You know, there was some back and forth. I had questions, so he had answers. He answers me. And one of the things which continued to trouble me on this world of life and earth is this, woman, this woman thing. Hear that shit? See how things just are synchronized already? Everything's already perfect, too. That sounds ridiculous, I know. But I'm just saying that you have access to your totality. You have all kinds of power as a human. You don't believe that because you haven't stepped outside of your meat suit's limitations. And that's by design, and that's fine. So what? But do know, you don't even have to die. You could start doing shit. What does he call it? To live life more abundantly? Yeah, and he's working on that. And they told me, they're like, well, there are certain things you need to do, like, get the fuck away from that shit. That's one of the reasons I don't like television. But now, hold on. I'm trying to maintain a coherent thought. Yeah, and good luck. I know, right? What my humanoid companion is trying to say is that I had this weird experience where it was not going a certain way, and I let go. I let go, and I watched my not projected fucking emanation of male lust, whatever you want to call it, go back through time, every fucking wrongly aimed affection regathering itself, all the will, all the true will, until it went all the way back to where I could see the woman I married. Very strange, right? Hold on. So at that point, I had my memories before I knew. I'm like, this is not victimized. This is not anything that I believe. This disappearing act person is not. What in the fuck is that sound? If it's in my house. I guess it's the neighbors. Okay, so just making sure. Because normally, if there's any moment of like quiet and peace, whatever, when you begin to express a thought, like I'm trying to record it and say, then there's this calamity that fucking immediately follows suit. And normally it's just loud sounds. But if it's outside, fuck, then that's just outside. It just sounded like it was inside. I couldn't tell where it was. A lot of time we get this with vehicles. Vehicles sound like they're driving fucking through at night all the time. And sure, some of it is the, whatever you want to call that. What do you want to call it? The way that the roads throw sounds. Sounds project and echo and all that bullshit. But whatever. No, let me get back to the topic. So what happened was that it was all by design. It was planned to be as it was at this time. It wasn't gonna be a marital partner whatever. We are two aspects of the same soul split into two. She's got a different mission. She's doing it. It has nothing to do with me. Well, I could, yeah, but hold on. The incrementalization of being able to process, understand, whatever it is, it's because they'll ask you so many times, do you, whatever. And but basically, if you believe yourself, then you only have one time to be like connecting with God. But by continually bringing it up in the form of a question, not even looking for an answer, the first time that you break off your word, and like, well, I don't know, or whatever happens, then it's the time machine or whatever the fuck is going on, severs your will from that initial connection, whatever you want to call that. And I could see all this so clearly, and I asked Christ certain things, and he answered me, because I wanted to know, and I needed to know. Because sometimes I become very troubled, and I worry about this other person, and if they're alive, and since I don't know it, fucking bothers me. So what? Well, now I know. Now I know. But with the incremental, whatever you want to say that word is, by continually to harass humans as they do, and we know who they are, they're system lords and these fucking technocrats. We're fighting a different war. Oh, wonderful. No, it's okay. It's fine. But you do have to know what's going on, and they make that incredibly difficult. I mean, for real. I mean, they do all kinds of shit to everyone. It's amazing to me that there's not as many batshit crazy sons of bitches, just falling out of the fucking buildings and type shit. Well, yeah. So, just that's food for thought. But I was getting some of these, with this guy. I'm his eldest son and blah, blah, blah. Men and sons have a different dynamic than, say, like daughters and mothers. And it's all by design. It really is. It is. And what you can come down here on earth and incarnate and do as an experience and live, or what will happen to you, and what the even point of that is for the limited amount of years that you may live your life, impacts your soul greatly. And yesterday my dad was saying something about, they were telling me, no, you don't, they're like, you're not getting through the correct way, and, thinking that when you die, I'll just be in heaven and blah, 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 would be a failed mission. And I could see that there. I don't have the same access to it directly as I did at the time, but I'm not forgetting it. I just don't have the clarity of full visualization, which I did at that time, because I could look over in my mind's eye and see Christ and talk to him and all that shit, probably judge his face and do all that subconscious bullshit that we do when we're looking around and have stuff like that. So it's good not to have that environment now to remember. But it's good to know that I did have access to it, and what it was we were at the Akashic Records room. We weren't even going through the Akashic Records. My dad says this thing about the first and second witness, and he says it all the dang time. And it's difficult if you want to get someone like praying actively against shit going on and stuff like that, when they don't have that same triggering mechanism to, go into the ritual mode, to begin to interact with the praying and the abilities you already have yourself, not asking for something, doing it from the awareness of being divine yourself. I'm not talking about playing God or helping God. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about God is in you and performing what you're doing, and it does it. That's very real. It's very real. Now, when fathers and sons get disconnected in a certain age, they normally bond. They do different shit, and if you don't make those markers, it doesn't matter what you fucking think or want to do about it. You miss it. That's the point of the story, is to say that some of these things that are being taken aren't able to be returned back. Some of them are important, other things not so much. Now, I think that the awareness of that being an issue and a mission was gained. It was seen. Some expectability of whatever that translates into my children is firmly held and believed. And that's helpful. It's needed, even, as it were. So, and then with all this going on, you have the Watchers, which is the government or whatever the fuck, and they're playing their game. Like one of the lady friends I have whose baby daddy murders himself, a friend of mine, allegedly, and I don't think so. They've got Black Widow program on her. But this girl's probably got the same damn burnt 9/11. There's something about Virgos. Virgos can recoagulate, but she said she was a home health, whatever the fuck, like myself, but she went to different places. And I think it's the FBI now. All these bureaus, Weather Bureau, Land Bureau, all this bullshit. And I know when I'm right. You just have to watch out for them, because they're always looking to harvest you. If it's not your energy, it's you. Just know that shit.